Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Yes, this is a new setup. I moved flats a couple of days ago, which is very stressful, by the way. Very stressful. My one piece of advice for anyone that's in the process of moving, thinking of moving, get a company to do it. Get a company to do it. Don't do what I did, which rely on the help of friends and family members. Instantly regretted it. What do you guys make of the new setup? This isn't in stone. I can change a few things around. I just quickly wanted to put something together so I can film before I fly out to America. Obviously, my prized possession needs to go up somewhere, my Dimitri Bivol top, which isn't behind me, and that is stressing me out a little bit. The Mike Tyson photo as well. But for now, this is probably how it is going to be going forward. Again, a few tweaks here and there. Be interesting to get your feedback. But yeah, we're in my front room. I do have a room behind me over my right shoulder where I could go and film. But I thought, you know what? Let's just try something a little different and see what you guys think. So yeah, again, not in stone, quickly put together. Hope you guys don't mind it. But yeah, the next time I film, I will 100% have the Bivol and Mike Tyson photo and jacket behind me. All right, let's have a quick look and see what there is to talk about today. Let's start here. Antonio Tarver. If Tyson Fury beats Alexander Usyk, he's got no reason to fight AJ. Of course he's got a reason to fight AJ, and that reason will probably be in the region of around £75 million. That's the reason. I mean, and not only that, but it's a fight the crowd want. I mean, you know, sometimes the fans, you know, dictate what happens in boxing. Not all the time, but the fans will scream for that fight. If Tyson Fury flatlines Alexander Usyk, which I don't think he will, but say he does, and AJ absolutely obliterates Francis Ngannou, which he's very capable of doing, then I do think the British public, maybe not those across the pond in America, but the British public will scream as loud as it's ever screamed for Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And it will be a mega pay-per-view fight, and it will do good numbers, and both fighters will get paid a lot. So that's a couple of reasons right there as to why Tyson Fury will go after the AJ fight, and why AJ, if he comes through Ngannou, will go for the Tyson Fury fight. It's just how it works. It's how it works. Michaela Mayer on loss to Natasha Jonas. I want to show some grace in the hope that she will give that rematch to me. She ain't getting the rematch. Look, a lot of you have asked me my thoughts on it, who I thought won. I thought Michaela Mayer won. I thought Michaela Mayer won by a couple of rounds as well. That's not a dig at Tasha. Massive Tasha fan, but I mean, I can only call what I see. And I mean, if you score in those rounds, like scoring round for round, Natasha Jonas lost that fight. She lost that fight. I don't think it's a robbery. But I mean, if you're Michaela Mayer, you don't want to hear that. If you're a Michaela Mayer fan, you don't want to hear that. And I think boxing fans need to stop saying that as well. If someone loses, they lose, right? And Tasha lost that fight. And for Michaela Mayer, you must be getting like a bit fed up. You've had a couple of close fights over here, albeit one was against a fellow American, but you had that fight against Alicia Baumgardner, which could have gone either way and went Alicia's way. And this one, which should have gone her way, has gone the way of Tasha Jonas. So her two career biggest fights where it's been close, and I thought one she won, she's not got anything for it. Obviously she got a payday, but she's not got the W, which is the most important. So yeah, but as for the rematch, she's not getting a rematch. I think if you're Tasha, I think there's a few things you're looking at here. You're probably looking at the winner of Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper, which was announced. That's a big fight in the UK. But more importantly, all eyeballs will be on Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor, for a couple of reasons. Number one, if they don't make that trilogy, Tasha can just jump straight in. Tasha will jump straight in and fight either person, right? A rematch against Katie Taylor or a big fight against Chantel Cameron. Or she could just wait for the winner. So those two fights, so the winner of Sandy Ryan, Terry Harper, the winner of Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor are bigger than a Michaela Mayer rematch. That's just how it is, unfortunately. That's just how it is. Callum Smith on possibly boxing Anthony Yard. It's definitely a fight that motivates you. I like that. And this is what I said when I said that I hope Callum Smith doesn't retire. Because in the immediate aftermath of a fight, look, you got beat up pretty bad. You got stopped. You can understand why it's like, okay, maybe I've done enough. But then, you know, you take some time out and you've had a week to reflect. You reflect on it and you think, okay, wait, I got beat by arguably pound for pound, top 6, top 7, and the number one, what people say, number one 175 pounder out there. No shame in that. No shame in that. All you got to do is drop that level just a little bit to the Anthony Yards, the Boatzis, and there are big fights. Those two, Yard and Boatzi, are massive domestic fights. And it's the kind of domestic fight we need back in the UK as well. Anthony Yard versus Callum Smith, I'm convinced, does an arena. Anthony Yard versus Boatzi does an arena. Callum Smith versus Boatzi does an arena. So we are waiting for these three to get it on with each other. And hopefully that happens. Obviously, Boatzi's got to get past disease. But if he does, then there are so many great fights out there in 175 pound domestically. John Ryder hopes upset win over Munguia could lead to Canelo rematch. I saw the off the cuff with Gareth A. Davis and John Ryder. Obviously, John Ryder mentioned it there. And all the comments were like, he's searching for a payday, he's searching for a payday. Duh. I mean, of course he is. Not only is he not, like, what's wrong with that? I don't understand what's wrong with fighters searching for a payday. I said this the other day to someone, and I think I'll explain it to you, but most of you guys will know, but I was on a football channel explaining it. The majority of fighters get their biggest paychecks at the end of their career. 9 times out of 10, they're actually on the way down. But it takes so long to get those paychecks that you earn so little money. So when you start to earn big money, you want to continually try and earn big money. He would have got that Canelo paycheck and thought, you know what, fuck me, I've worked all my life for that. I wouldn't mind it again. And not only would I not mind the paycheck again, it's the chance to fight the best super middleweight out there. So you can't blame Ryder for saying, A, I want the paycheck, and B, I want the chance to fight the best super middleweight out there. And you know what? I gave him a good fight back in May. It wasn't the worst fight in the world. So I have no problem with John Ryder saying he wants Canelo again. No problem whatsoever. Munguia, if he wins this fight, guess who he's going to call out? You guessed right, Canelo. Everyone's calling that Canelo because he's the number one in the division and he pays. I mean, what else are you in the sport for? Belts and money. So I have no problem with him calling him out. I do think Ryder's going to find it very, very tough against Munguia. Obviously, I fly out tomorrow for it. It's crazy, you know. It's crazy. I know I keep saying this sometimes, but sometimes I do sit back and think, how the fuck am I going to America to present. I am the guy you're going to see first on screen. Present these fights in the States. Honestly, it's a dream job, and I don't take it for granted. But yeah, I do think he's going to find it very hard against Munguia. Munguia doesn't hit you. He hasn't got that one punch detonating power, but it's an accumulation of punches. And I think that's the problem. And again, I said, how much did that Canelo fight take out of Ryder? We'll find out in the first few rounds. Ryder's going to have to sort of weather a storm early. And I mean, if he can weather that storm, we saw what Derevanchenko was able to do with Munguia in the later rounds. You know, Ryder might be able to do that. Peter Dobson, not impressed by Conor Benn. The kid is a bum. Strong words. I'm looking for. I do that fight as well. So I go from Phoenix to Vegas to cover this one. Be interesting to see what kind of crowd is out there for Conor Benn. Obviously, there's a few Brits flying over, but I can't imagine it's going to do crazy numbers. Like, I'd be shocked if there's 1,000 people there. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, as for this, Conor Benn is a bum. Look, obviously, Conor Benn isn't a bum, but we don't know where he is. Like, there is no one can tell me 100% Conor Benn is European level. 100% he's way above British level. 100% he is world fringe level. No one knows. So I guess 2024 is the year of knowing where Conor Benn is. And it starts with what hopefully is a good fight against Peter Dobson. Moses Italma details words of advice from Mike Tyson, eyes the winner of Solomon Dakers versus David Adeleye. I like it. He wants the winner. It's like, you know how crazy that is? I want the winner of that. That's crazy. Obviously, look, supremely confident, supremely gifted, so good, and will be in that world mix, I think, sooner rather than later. 12, 18 months. I know it's crazy, it's wild, but I expect it. I really do. As for Moses Italma, obviously, Jai Opetaia was in sparring with Tyson Fury as well, and we're hearing so many rumors as to what happened. He only stayed there, I'm hearing, was it 5 rounds? Or was it 5 days? 5 something, right? And he's gone. He's no longer there. And there are rumors about him dropping Tyson Fury. I don't know where that comes from, but there are rumors. But it is strange because I'm guessing he was chief sparring partner. Obviously, he is the southpaw. He is smaller. He would have been the main guy, right? And he's no longer there. Make of that what you will. Zhilei Zhang could be tempted to face Ngannou even if he loses to Joshua. Yeah, no problem with that. I don't see any issue with that. I mean, if you're Zhang and you can't get one of the big ones, like if Zhang beats Joseph Parker, Zhang should be fighting for a world title. Like Zhang, but he's not going to be easy. He's not going to get the opportunity yet. Make money. Zhang is 41. Make your money, brother. If you versus Ngannou sells and, the Saudis are happy with it and, there's some interest in it, make your money as you wait for a world title shot. Because I can't think of who else Zhang should fight after detonating Joe Joyce twice. I think beating Hrgovic. Some people don't. And if he were to come through Parker. I mean, really and truly, the next one really should be an AJ. It should be an AJ, should be an Usyk, should be a Fury. Those 3 guys are going to be tied up. Teofimo Lopez. Crawford says he's the best. I know I'm the best. Let's make the fight happen. This leads on to what the video was about. Sorry, I took a while to get into it. What's going on with Terence Crawford? Like, I can't even, apart from potentially Jaron Ennis, who's the new IBF welterweight champion, I can't see an obvious fight out there for him, which is a shame. Bear in mind, he's coming off a career best win, which probably doesn't even give it as much oomph as it should, right? It's better than a career best win. I mean, that fight against Errol Spence had been built up for 5 years and he destroyed Errol. He destroyed Errol to such a level where in the immediate aftermath of that fight, people were saying, Crawford versus Floyd at 147, who wins? You know how crazy that is? There's been no one that's been brought up in the last 10, 15 years. No one. We've had unified champions, right? There's been no welterweight in the last 10 years where you even make that comparison. But yet, it was a comparison that's legit. That's how good Crawford looks. The problem is, there's no dance partner. You can look as good as you want. You'll be moonwalking by your fucking self. There is no dance partner for Terence Crawford right now. An obvious one anyway. Which is why I don't mind the Teofimo Lopez talk because, look, Teofimo Lopez is trying to sell it. He is probably the best at 140. Why not? Who else is out there? I mean, realistically, Virgil Ortiz has now gone to 154 pounds. He could go there, but do we want to see that? Virgil's been out for so long. He came back and had that very controversial win. Do you remember when Tony Weeks stopped the fight? Rightly so in the end. I mean, what do we want to see? Do we want that? Again, I mentioned Jaron Ennis. Jamel Charlo looks like he's vanished after the Canelo loss. What is out there for the pound for pound #1 and one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen? Not much is the answer. Not much. It's true. Not much is out there. So I don't know what he's going to do, Terence. It is disappointing because right now we should be already talking about an opponent. I mean, the only obvious, it's not even obvious, but the only one that's out there, and I do wonder if conversations are going on behind the scenes and people might call me crazy for it, but Terence mentioned it, Canelo. Because if you're Canelo, again, you look at, okay, who's out there for Canelo? And I said this the other day, I don't think Canelo, or at least it doesn't seem as though Canelo wants the Benavidez fight right now, for whatever reason. So who's out there for Canelo? It's not going to be a Bivol rematch because we're going to get Bivol Beterbiev. I mean, answer on a postcard, please. I mean, who's out there? It's not going to be Jamal Charlo. So I don't know. Terence has spoken about jumping up a couple of weights. I mean, could they meet somewhere in the middle? I say somewhere in the middle. I mean, Terence jumping up a lot and Canelo coming down a little. I don't know what Terence walks around at, but even at the Errol fight, I mean, there were so many rumors circulating behind the scenes about him missing weight and him struggling with the weight. So he's clearly a big guy now. And at the age of Terence, surely it's just maybe rolling the dice and having these super fights. And it's about getting paid as well. And he will get paid. Can you imagine the pay-per-view numbers that does? I mean, there's all this talk of Saudi and what they're paying, but in terms of just raw pay-per-view numbers, Canelo versus Crawford is easily over $1 million. Easily. The intrigue alone. And then what you do, you have the African American supporters, the Mexican supporters, and then just everyone else. That is probably the fight to make. Probably. Don't think it's going to happen, but I'm more interested in that than Teofimo, than Virgil Ortiz, than Jamel or Jamal, than Jaron Ennis. Give me Canelo Crawford, please. Hearn on Ngannou's boxing debut. Maybe Fury is a shot fighter. We'll find out February the 17th. Maybe. Like I've bet against Fury so many times. Vladimir Klitschko, bet against him. 2 Wilder fights, bet against him. Even the third one, I was like, you know what, Wilder looking kind of big, you know. Looking kind of mean. Wilder nearly had him. I ain't betting against them anymore. I think Usyk's going to cause them problems, but I'm not betting against Tyson Fury. I still think Tyson Fury's got something left. And I don't know, that carrot that's being dangled in front of him to become undisputed. And then if he comes through that one, then the money fight against AJ, who knows? What else we got? Mate, this was a good fight when this was mentioned. Announced. Dalton Smith versus Jose Cepeda. Where'd that come from? Where did that come from? That's a great fight and a really big step up, that one, I think, for Dalton Smith. Big step up. Cepeda, it's still world level. I know he's lost, I think, is it 2 of his last 3 or 4? But he's losing to good guys. It's a great fight. Co-main event is Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper. March 23rd, 2 days before my birthday. I'm liking that. Even this one, another good fight announced. Florian Marcoux, Chris Congo. Don't mind it. I don't mind that one either. Javonte Davis on fighting in Saudi Arabia. If they want me, they've got to send me something like 2 Ferraris. Hopefully this was tongue-in-cheek because, mate, like, they're like need or want for you. I almost feel like this is a bit of fun for them. Like some of these fights they're putting on, like they don't need or want you. Like, you know, they're having fun with the sport of boxing. I mean, if you want to be a part of it, and they'll pay you handsomely, but it's not like they're desperate to get you over. They're not at all. So, I don't know. Again, if it's not a tongue-in-cheek, it's quite a stupid comment because, I mean, Javonte's good. Like, Javonte's one of the superstars of the sport. And I asked Turkey himself, and Javonte's one of the names that I mentioned. But it's not a desperation thing to get Javonte over to Saudi. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. This fight looks like it's going to happen, doesn't it? I heard Josh Taylor say something along the lines of he's waiting for a contract. I think Jack Catterall has started tweeting him. So it looks like this fight will happen, which is good. I wait to see when this fight will happen and where this fight will happen. But hopefully, finally, we get it. I do wonder if it's going to be at 140. I do think there's probably something in the fact that this fight will be a catchweight fight. But yeah, hopefully we get it. All right, guys and girls, we are done. Again, it was a very quick video just because I wanted to film something because I haven't done a video in a couple of days. And I promised you guys I'm back. And I'm not really back, am I? I am in the States. I always do this and I never film. I always promise and I don't deliver. But after I do the Munguia Ryder fight, I'm not going to go to Vegas for like 3 or 4 days and then do the Conor Benn fight. So I'm going to be in Phoenix. So anyone live in Phoenix, want to catch up, let me know. Drop a DM, send me an email. Or if not, I will hit a couple of gyms in Phoenix and just do some recording. Peace and love.